So, after being a month late and after having not posted for 6 months, it's safe to say Roblox is definitely going downhill. Now, even if we take a gander and ignore the fact that they're removing classic faces or anything that remade the platform remotely like how it was supposed to be, safe to say it's still not looking any better. But I'm going to add in my 2 cents that nobody asked for because I feel like we need to look at this not only as bad as it is face level, but we also need to look at the bigger picture and just how bad that is too. Let's take it back to a month ago, basically, at this point in time, or maybe two, when Roblox first released the age group update or the age verification update. If you didn't know, or if you're in the Roblox community and do know, the community did not take it very lightly. Even with the community backlash, people found out this system is very, very easy to exploit. I have a bunch of videos on how people have exploited this system to get the age requirement or verification that they want. And actually, I'll show you one. Okay, where do I even begin with this video? Number one, it wasn't even a real face. And number two, 13 to 15. That's what they're doing. But that's not the point of this video. No, this video has a much bigger issue, especially with not only how bad this AI system is, but there's a lot of other stuff we have to talk about, especially with Persona, the company that they use for the AI face scans, having multiple lawsuits. Let's start by looking at the notification that you get when you're asked to do a face scan. The main parts that I really want to talk about with this screenshot, with the people who are saying, oh, this update was for the kids. There are two main parts that I want to talk about. This little circle here. Let's read word for word what it says, or at least what I can make out because the screenshot sucks for some reason. By selecting continue, I agree that Roblox and Roblox's vendor, Persona, and their service providers will process my facial images and video, including my biometric information in the case where my government ID is collected or otherwise where permitted, to access my age and to prevent fraud and abuse in accordance with Roblox facial media capture privacy notice. Data handling by Persona will be done accordance with Persona's privacy policy. There will be a later section in this video where I get into both privacy policies and I read them. But the first issue with this contract, technically, not necessarily contract, but agreement, the first issue I want to point out is minors can't consent. Not only US law, but I think in a couple of European countries, or most of the world in fact, minors under the age of 18 or 16, depending on where you are, cannot consent to a legally binding contract or legally binding bit of fine print. So, even, let's say if this was for the kids, this would automatically be invalid because they're not asking for parental permission and they're not giving any type of insight to the guardianship or the private policy. If you see in the screenshot, there is no access to see a link to either of these sources. Allegedly, I'm saying allegedly so I don't get sued, but let's take a look at both of these private policies. Before I start reading, I just want to look over COPPA, known as the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. In their official website, it says children under 13 are not allowed to provide biometric data as in fingerprints, facial recognition, or iris scans. Now, this is important because there is an age group lower for 9 to 13 and under that, I believe. So, if Roblox were to do this, they would have to send immediate parental notification or just provide parents the notification or telling them we need to scan your child's face for your age verification. And I'm going to say this allegedly so I don't get sued. Roblox does not do this. It just gives you, when you make a new account, it'll say, you need to unlock chat. Or even if you don't have a new account, it'll just say you need to unlock chat. And this could be given to little kids, older kids, adults, and they could be placed in the wrong age group. But let's read the privacy policy. I'm going to keep this short because this is really long. Well, not super long, but it's just, if I read this all in this video, it would be like 10 minutes longer. I'm going to read this funny little first section. It's under why are you receiving this notice? It says, this facial media capture privacy notice explains how Roblox collects, uses, and shares, and retains and destroys, collectively processes images or videos from you, which may include biometric data when you use our services. Biometric data includes biometric identifiers, which are data gathered by your measurements of your biological characteristics that are used to uniquely identify you, such as your retina or iris scan, fingerprint, voice print, or the scan of your hand or face geometry. And biometric information, which is information based on a biometric identifier that can be used to identify you. Then, under the section, how do we process biometric data, we use a service provider, Persona, to assist with our identity verification process. For identity verification, Persona captures a video of your ID and a selfie. Persona then reviews the face geometry extracted from your ID and selfie and analyzes the age of your face to compare it with the birth from your ID. This is done to securely verify your identity, including your age, as well as to detect fraud. Roblox may access the photo of your ID and selfie stored by Persona for training, product improvement, and compliance purposes. Roblox will not have access to the face geometry processed by Persona. Now, under how long do we retain your biometric data, Roblox claims it does not have a copy or it does not have access to your biometric data. And they claim that Persona will delete your data after respectively 30 days, unless required by law. But this begs the question, is Roblox following the COPPA law? Now, let's look at Persona's private policy, because that, I feel, is going to be a whole nother rabbit hole. Now, before we get into the lawsuits, I got up Persona's legal privacy policy, and there's a section under notice for individuals with verifying their age. Now, this is very long, well, not super long, but I'm going to try and summarize this in my own words, so I'm going to say this is all alleged, just in case I get sued. So, basically, Persona claims that they delete all of the personal data as soon as it's done processing. It acts as a service provider for businesses who want age verification, and it does not share or collect or sell personal data for age assurance with like third parties. The problem with this being, they claim that they can also keep it in case they want to use it to train their AI, which two things the math isn't mathing, is what I'm trying to say. There's also another section under how we disclose personal data. We're going to summarize this again. Allegedly, don't sue me. This is on the official website. It states, we may engage in third parties to assist us in providing with services, in which case we may disclose personal data to them. We also may disclose personal data to service providers, including hosting, cloud servers, and other information technology service providers, i.e. email, communication, and SMS software providers, and identity verification services and mobile devices operators, consumer porting services, and fraud and identity management providers. For example, we may disclose your name and address to a third-party database provider in order to request information they may have about you. Now, the section we're all waiting for, the facial scans and biometric information. This section, it says, for age assurance use cases, Persona's default setting is to automatically delete personal data as soon as it's done processing is complete and an outcome has been determined. However, just like I said earlier, they also go back and say that they could save it to use it to train their AI or detect fraud or fraud prevention. Now, what does this mean? Story short, this means Persona, yes, it may delete your information, it still retains it to a degree to where if they want to go back and say, hey, we can use this, it can go back and do that. Allegedly, of course. Allegedly. Now, for the final part of this video, I want to go over the lawsuits that Persona is currently facing because I feel like they are important to talk about, especially if Roblox wants to implement the service to ID verify kids and other people. So I'm going to read over um, sources of the current lawsuits that Persona is facing. I will leave all the sources I used in the description so you can go look them over yourself if you'd like to. Persona is currently going up with a BIPA class action settlement regarding alleged violations from the Illinois Biometric Information Privacy Act, BIPA, for it was preliminarily approved in May of 2023. The lawsuit alleged that the company improperly used, collected, stored, or used, biometric data such as photos and state IDs without authorization. But that lawsuit is still ongoing. I'm just going to leave that there. This is all alleged. I'm not saying that they did anything. I'm not saying they didn't. This is just public information. The court records are on the internet, so look them up as you please. Now, I was about to end this video, but literally as I was finishing up editing for this video, turns out Roblox got exposed, or I think there was a data breach. So your personal information, if you verified with your face, yeah, that's leaked. That is most likely leaked as of when I'm recording, February 22nd. Your face or personal information was most likely leaked in the data breach. So we're going to end the video on that note. Originally, I had an outro and everything, but that's where I'm going to end this video. So we can all agree Roblox is, I don't think it's making it to the end of 2026. But if you have your own arguments or debates, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear everybody's opinions on what do you think is going to happen. Do you think Roblox is going to go back? Do you think they're just going to stay stagnant or stay quiet? Especially with the update of trusted connections and resets, which the resets just put you in the same age category. So yeah, but please leave a comment, maybe a like or subscribe. Thank you. Bye.